Hi, Leo. It's Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot. Welcome or welcome back. Today we are doing June readings, and I've got the Unfolding Path Tarot here. I like to sort of skip over or fast forward through the shuffling part, but I am going to give the deck a really good shuffle for you. So I'll meet you on the other side of the shuffle for your reading. See you there. Okay, Leo, let's see what we've got. Temperance. Yowza. Ten of Swords reversed. Judgment. And King of Cups. Okay, so one thing I want to point out. I had not intended to use reversals. Sometimes I do use reversals. I do think reversals are handy. I do think that they add to the vocabulary of the tarot. But I hadn't intended to use that, and I hadn't used that reversals in any of the other readings. I had carefully ensured that this deck did not have any other reversals, so the fact that this card showed up reversed is significant, and we're going to keep it. So there's that. So I just wanted to point that out. Before we begin. So let us commence. How does this look? Let's get this a little bit more. All right. All right, so starting, we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups represents a time or a phase of feeling comfortable, confident with your sort of emotional space, your emotional maturity. Your emotional intelligence, as it were. So this can sometimes refer to your capacity to handle your own emotional intelligence, awareness, emotional reactions. This can refer to your own emotional growth. So, say, being aware of your own soft spots or triggers, as it were. We don't love that word, but your areas of impact or areas of tenderness, maybe areas where you were affected by your family of origin or other traumas, areas where you have done growth, or areas where you're still perhaps doing shadow work. This is also a useful card for artistic folks who may depend on emotional awareness or emotional intelligence for their work, like writers who may require that for writing dialogue, or musicians for accessing, emotional content, or actors, obviously, that sort of thing. This card is showing up sort of in the foundation of your reading, indicating that June is a time when sort of your emotional capacity is called upon, or is kind of the focus, or becomes significant in some way. I would be remiss if I didn't suggest that this could also be somehow related to relationships, or your interest in, or capacity to renew, or capacity to start a romantic relationship. This would be being open to going deeper in a relationship, or renewing a relationship, or starting a romantic relationship. So there's that. I am not seeing other obvious relationship cards in this reading, but the fact that you have two major arcana cards here means that there are shifts that are happening across the board. When we have major arcana cards, those shifts in your life tend to happen in every arena. You know, your relationships, your job, career, should you have them, your family life, your finances. When you do sort of the internal shifts that major arcana cards refer to, those impact all the areas of your life. They tend to have a ripple effect. So I suspect that for different Leos listening, they may key into what this particular emotional sort of phase is getting to. I think for some folks, this might be more about romantic relationships. I think for other folks, this might be more about healing, either following grief for following a loss, or dealing with some family of origin, wounding, or even being in recovery from, say, addiction issues or something like that. But Leo, you will know which area you need to work on, or if it's just that kind of general artistic schmear, and you're accessing sort of you're accessing your emotional body for your artistic work. The next card we have here is Temperance, which is all about balance. It's all about a return to balance and being able to maximize with minimal. And what I mean by that is trimming the fat, or kind of cutting out those relationships or jobs or associations, or even sometimes for some folks it's about purging clutter, like just getting rid of things that are jumbling up your life, that are causing sort of internal chaos. For some of us, clutter really does cause like a sort of, I don't want to offend, and I'll just own it. I am someone who has ADHD, and I am affected by clutter. I find that sometimes I cannot focus when there is too much clutter, when there is mess and disorganization of actual objects in my space. I do have to purge, I do have to clean. When I come to do tarot readings, I do have to have my space kind of organized in a certain way. It sounds maybe crazy or anal retentive, but I literally cannot focus when there's too much mess, or when certain things are undone, or I literally can't, my brain won't let me focus on the task at hand. So temperance is kind of getting to that, supporting harmony by minimalizing, by encouraging you to let go of what is not needed, by sort of recycling or upcycling, or getting rid of products or relationships or jobs or associations that don't serve you, or that are just sort of cluttering up your life. It sounds harsh when you say it that way, but it really is about a return to balance. You know, sometimes we do clutter up our lives with too many subscriptions, too many memberships, too many, that thing where you have too many channels to check before you go to bed, and you end up, you're getting 4 hours of sleep because you're spending too much time online. Just simplify. Temperance is encouraging you to simplify your life, to reduce the clutter, and supports your return to balance, to kind of clear the clutter from your mind. Okay, now we get to the tricky one, the Ten of Swords. Nobody likes seeing the Ten of Swords because it looks awful, right? But, let's see if we can get her in focus. Can we? Hello? Oh, I've had the worst time. There we go. Right, the Ten of Swords is that card that has a character with a bunch of swords in her back. And it does not look pleasant. But the Ten of Swords always indicates the end of an unpleasant cycle, the end of it. It's over. It was unpleasant, but now it's over. So in June, we are looking at the end of something that was not pleasant. The fact that this card has very persistently or very insistently turned up reversed indicates that there is something that perhaps you should have let go of some time ago that you will have to let go of. And it is something you will consciously have to address. It's not letting go of you. It's not just walking out of your life. You will have to consciously choose to say, no, thank you. I am done. No more. You will have to you will have to consciously go to a boss or go to a partner or significant other or in something along those lines and say, this is not working for me. I can no longer continue in this fashion. I am removing myself from this association. I am so sorry to say that this is not going to be easy. I am also a Leo, so I am also going to have to do this. I know what this is in my life that I'm going to have to do. So if it helps at all, I am a sister in the sucky task at hand. We are in solidarity with this unpleasant task. If that helps, I don't know why it would, but here we are. But yeah, definitely something that that is not working, that should have ended a while ago, that is, keeping you down. It finally, in June, it finally has to be, it finally has to be resolved. And the freedom on the other side of it, the Judgment is the ultimate freedom card. And the traditional imagery on the Judgment card is, and this is going to sound spooky, but it's typically that card with the big angel and the trumpet and I think it's Gabriel, I guess. And Gabriel is trumpeting, and all of these little humans who are naked are coming out of the coffins because they're being called to heaven, I guess, by the angel. I'm not sure what that means in biblical terms, in Judeo-Christian. I'm not really sure. I guess they're going to heaven, and they're free from the. I don't really know what that is and is supposed to be, but in our terms, it is a freedom from restriction. It is the freedom from being bound to something you didn't want anyway. It is the freedom from being in a tight little box. It is a freedom from expectations that other people had of you. It is the freedom from expectations maybe you had of yourself. It's freedom. When you release yourself from this thing, it is going to feel so amazing because it's something that you've been meaning to do, or you knew you had to do, or maybe for practical reasons you couldn't. Maybe you had to get another job lined up, or you had to get your kids safe, or whatever it is. But you knew eventually you were going to have to, for your own kind of balance and safety and focus, you were going to have to do this thing. And for your own sort of emotional well-being, you were going to have to do this thing. And then the freedom on the other side is going to be just wonderful and marvelous. And it's going to feel like a victory, too. And it's going to open up so many other doors, I have to tell you. It's going to, it's really going to allow you to be the version of you that feels so true. Even though whatever you were sort of bound to felt like maybe it was the thing you were supposed to do, once you let go, you're going to realize, oh no, there's this whole other me I'm supposed to be. There's this whole other me I could be that's more true to me anyway. So it's going to feel much more like victory on the other side. It's going to feel emotionally more true and more real on the other side. Whew, Leo. I feel you. I feel you. So I hope that is validating. I hope that feels supportive. I know there's this kind of icky thing, this one icky thing, but otherwise everything else is going to be great. And it's going to be so great on the other side of it. So there's that. Leo, please take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for dropping by. Until next time, bye for now.